Hello darts fans, just one more week of regular league action to come in the Premier League darts. I'm Dan Dawson in association with The Sportsman, talking you through how this incredible league season is reaching a climax. This has been probably the best Premier League season we have ever seen. We're going into the final week in Leeds with the top two fighting out for the top spot. We still don't know who's going to claim the 25 grand bonus between MVG and Rob Cross, and then four other players also fighting it out to make the playoffs. It has been hugely unpredictable, and part of the reason is we've seen so many draws, particularly in the second phase of the tournament. Now, I've been telling you, stay away from the draws because they're just so difficult to predict. They're less likely when you're playing first to eight or 7-7 in the draw format, and yet we're seeing loads of them, and it's really hurt some of our bets, to be honest, because last week we got two right and two wrong, and the two wrong were both draws, and it's frustrating as. So let's have a look at what's going to go on in Leeds to see if we can make some money. We're still finding ways to make money over the course of this unpredictable Premier League season, but it'd be nice to finish with a big one. Now, Gerwyn Price is one of those guys fighting out for a spot in the playoffs. He's never made it there before. He's drawn as many games as anybody in this Premier League season, and he goes up against Peter Wright. Now, in Premier League form, there's only one winner. It has to be Gerwyn Price, 13-10. Peter Wright at 7-5. But I've just got this sneaky feeling. Peter Wright made a Euro Tour final at the weekend, beating Michael van Gerwen along the way. There have been signs over the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks that Peter Wright is coming back into form. He's had some problems at home. His wife Jo's been ill. She had surgery. Everything seems to be okay now, and maybe that was what was holding him back, and he could go out and finish with a bang in Leeds. He's 7-5. But I'm just thinking this could be tight. This could be one of those draws that I'm just so terrified of backing. So maybe look at the handicap. Peter Wright plus 1.5 legs means if he draws or he wins, that bet comes in, and that's at 4-7. I just think it'd be in keeping with Gerwyn Price's season, because so many times he has been in positions to win games or at least get a draw out of them, and it's not quite worked for him. If Gerwyn Price doesn't go and make the playoffs, it's not going to be down to this final game against Peter Wright. It's all those other times in the weeks preceding where he hasn't quite been able to get over the line. Missing darts against Van Gerwen, missing darts last week against Daryl Gurney, for example. I think that Peter Wright is going to have a say in who makes the playoffs, and I think he can get something out of that game with Gezi. I think at 4-7 plus 1.5 legs for Peter Wright, I think it could work for us. We go into the next game with Daryl Gurney, who is the prime other contender with Gerwyn Price for a spot in the top four, along with Mensur Suljovic. Now, Gurney's in a similar position. He takes on Michael Smith. Michael Smith knows he cannot make the playoffs, but he is there to be an annoyance to other players. Now, Daryl Gurney is worried. He's worried that Michael Smith, who has played pretty well so far this year but hasn't been able to get results, his finishing has not been good enough, but his scoring has been incredible. Daryl Gurney is worried that Michael Smith might just start popping the doubles and he walks into 110 average here, and once again Daryl Gurney misses out on the playoffs for the second year running. However, the other thing that Michael Smith might have playing on his mind is, for the first time in 5 years, he's got to go to a qualifier on a Friday night for the European Tour events. That will be the very next day following Leeds Premier League. That might just be up there, whereas Gurney, all he is concentrated on is getting into that top four. Daryl Gurney was our pick, 80-1 at the start of the tournament as an each-way bet to go and claim the title. If he's going to do that, he's going to have to go and make the playoffs and be in the top four. I think that the bookie's got it completely wrong on the odds there, and I think he's going to do it. And at 13-10, I think he gets the result against Michael Smith, and he will book his place at the O2 next week, giving himself a chance of going on and claiming the £250,000 top prize. And hey, landing us at 80-1 shot outsider. We move on to Michael van Gerwen in the next game against Mensur Suljovic. Now, Mensur Suljovic, he has beaten MVG, he's beaten him 4 times, but he hasn't beaten him for a good long while. And Michael van Gerwen has been powering through the last couple of weeks. Big averages, blowing people out the water. It was 8-1 against Peter Wright last week. Admittedly lost to Peter Wright at the weekend on the European Tour, but since he lost that top spot in the Premier League, he is doing everything he can to get it back. He says he's going to do his utmost. He's going to win his last game, and he's going to hope that James Wade helps him out and beats Rob Cross to allow MVG to get back to the top spot and finish top for every single year he's been in it. This will be the first time that he hasn't finished top of the league stage. Now, he's only 2-7 to go and win. 6-1 the draw, 6-1 for Mensur. But I think that Van Gerwen is going to do this, and he's going to do it convincingly. You want to get your odds up, then you could give him -2.5 legs on the handicap, and that brings your odds up to 4 to 9. I think Van Gerwen is going to ask the question of Rob Cross. He'll say to the world number 2, that's my spot. Can you take it off me in the final game? And the final game sees Rob Cross go up against James Wade. Now, James Wade himself is not safe from being knocked out of the top 4, but he may well be by the time that game comes around. As for Rob Cross, he knows it's a very simple equation. Go out there and win. Whatever Michael Van Gerwen's done, it does not matter. He'll be approaching it just like that. Even a draw for MVG against Mensur Suljovic means that Rob Cross has to go and do something in this game. He cannot afford to lose this one. Now, it's even money for Rob Cross at Bet365. It is 15 to 8 for James Wade. Now, the value for James Wade there is so good, and I'm so tempted by the machine, because he has been spectacular this year, arguably playing the best darts we've ever seen from him. He's won 3 titles this year and just looks so dangerous. But Rob Cross did beat him in the Premier League when they met last time. He does have a slightly better head-to-head record against the machine, and I just think that in the Premier League, one-off games, Rob Cross, week in, week out, unless it's against Michael Van Gerwen, he turns up and delivers. If he performs like he did last time against James Wade, I think it will be enough. And I think that Rob Cross is going to go on and win it, and he is going to finish top of the Premier League standings. Even money there for Rob Cross. We've got Michael Van Gerwen, -2.5 legs at 4 to 9. Daryl Gurney, I believe, is going to do it and keep our 80 to 1 shot alive at the start of this tournament at 13 to 10. And then Peter Wright is my outsider. I'm going to give him +1.5 legs, so at least if that's the game which is the draw, and they have messed us up for a while, then maybe that bet gets us out of it. +1.5 legs at 4 to 7. If you put all of those in the accumulator, you get nearly 10 to 1, and we will be going to the O2 with some money in our pocket. And hopefully, if Daryl Gurney is there, we could have a lot of money in our pocket, because at 80 to 1 at the start of the tournament, this 19 leads could show how we got that one right.